at Dovenby Hall in Cumbria, home to M Sport. It was at Dovenby that the 2012 International Fiesta Sport Trophy Shootout was held, pitching the winners of individual Fiesta Championships against each other to win a 12-month contract to work at M Sport. The workshop was just one of the venues for the shootout, and it's here the winner will spend much of their time, learning how M Sport turns this into this, a World Rally contender. The event was held over 2 days, with day one including a trial by media. The winner of the UK Fiesta Sport Trophy, Elfyn Evans, took his turn to be quizzed by a panel of journalists about his season and his ambitions.
How that's created, a profile for myself, and you really start to appreciate what that can do for you in terms of supporters, followers, and ultimately what will bring sponsors. So I certainly have much more respect for the PR side of things now than maybe I should have had earlier in my career.
Following the media interviews, Elfyn headed for the workshop. In previous years, the shootout's physical assessment consisted of a bleep test, but for 2012 the challenge involved a tyre change against the clock. On a rally this would be a two-person job, but on this occasion the driver was on his own, using the quick lift jack from a WRC Academy Fiesta and a wheel brace to change the wheel. The test started and finished with the driver seated with belts tightened. All equipment must have been stowed securely, and helmet and gloves were worn throughout, exactly as they'd be if a puncture happened on a rally. As darkness fell, the third and final of the day's tests was a psychological evaluation, a question paper specially devised by Edinburgh University's Sports Science Department, designed to establish how the drivers would react to training and development.
I think it's been a great stepping stone, and if you look at some of the guys over the years that have evolved from the Fiesta FST /R2 championships, then I think it tells you that it's the place to be if you want to get recognised and climb up the ladder in the sport. You're not necessarily looking for the quickest in one sense, but you're looking for the people who can make an improvement, and you can see where the improvement is, and then you can ask certain things about the level of the co-driver and how many events they've done. So it's very interesting. It's a great exercise to actually see how these guys cope with this sort of, and let's be honest, it is a little bit of a pressure environment.
Day two saw the shootout move to Carlisle Airport, where the weather conditions made sure the driving challenge would be anything but easy. At least Elfyn would have a familiar voice in his ears, as he was rejoined by the co-driver who guided him to the WRC Academy title, Phil Pugh. The pair's first task was to drive the short stage in a recce car and write their pace notes. They would tackle the stage a total of 3 times, although the broken surface of the airport's taxiways meant the stage would be a tricky challenge.
3 rights go out. Sudden. Opens.
Not only would the time count, but the stage was run under the watchful eye of Malcolm Wilson, who was looking for consistency as well as speed. The best 2 out of the 3 runs would count for each driver, and so Elfyn was determined that all 3 of his runs would be smooth but quick. Elfyn wasn't the quickest on either of the first 2 runs, but just as in the academy, consistency brings its rewards, and he led by just 1/10 of a second after the second run through the stage, with the rain getting heavier by the minute. The worsening conditions meant that the third and final run was slower for all of the leading drivers, and so Elfyn held on to that slender lead to win the driving challenge. As it turned out, he'd also won the media and physical challenges the previous day, and so had done more than enough to make it into the top 5. The final and deciding part of the shootout was then a series of one-to-one interviews for all of the top 5 with Malcolm Wilson, before the M Sport boss announced the result.
And the winner, I think everybody knows, he's had an incredible season to win the Fiesta Series in the UK, to win the Academy, It's been a fantastic season for him. I'm sure he's going to have a great year next year, and it's Elvin Evans.
Oh, it's a fantastic feeling. To come here to end the year off and come away victorious is a fantastic way to end the year. It'll mean a fantastic opportunity for us next year. We've got the prize from the academy, and to work with the team that will be running the car will be an absolute opportunity for me, and I really hope I can make the most of it.
Elvin came out top by 1/10 of a second on the performance side, but looking at the year that he's had as well, we're just delighted to be able to really get him into the M Sport fold and get him out there, and hopefully, you know, get him a bigger program, get him as much seat time as possible, because I really believe that that's the next step for his career path. We also want him to learn about the engineering side. We'd like him to be involved in maybe some events, being an engineer and working with some of the other drivers that we've got all over the world. But the most important thing for him is we want to get him behind the wheel, get him testing, get some good feedback, be able to give him some information what the engineers and everything are looking for, and try and get him on as many world events as possible.